Good day, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Obele Chinelum Confidence. I'm a first year law student in Maduka University, and I'm here to give a presentation of the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. The first part of the book talks about our thoughts and character. There's a book in the Bible, Proverbs 23 verse 7, that says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so he is." And this proverb reaches out to every condition and circumstances of human endeavor. As a human being and the Lord of our own thoughts, each of us hold the key to every situation and contains within ourselves that transforming and regenerative agency by which we may make ourselves what we will. How we behave, how we handle situations are all linked to our thoughts. Whether good or bad characters, all of these are first of all formed in our mind, in our thoughts, and we put into action. Moving up to the next chapter, which is effects of thoughts on circumstances. James Allen likened the human mind to a garden. He used a garden as a key factor to explain how our thoughts have an effect on our circumstance or the circumstances we face. He says, just as a gardener cultivates the plot, keeping it free from weeds and cultivating the flowers and fruits which are required, so may we tend and garden of our mind, weeding out all the wrong, useless, and impure thoughts, and cultivating towards perfection the flowers and fruits of right, useful and pure thoughts. Garden our minds, we should tend to the garden of our mind. We should weed out all the wrong and impure thoughts that are in them, because good thoughts bear only good fruits, and bad thoughts bear bad fruits. Moving on to the next chapter, the next part of this book, effect of thoughts on health and body. The body is a servant of the mind. It obeys the operation of the mind, whether they be deliberately chosen or automatically expressed. Disease and health, like circumstances, are rooted in thoughts. James says here that sickly thoughts will express themselves through a sickly body. People who live will continue to have impure and poisoned blood, so long as they propagate unclean thoughts. Out of a clean heart comes a clean life and a clean body, but out of a defined mind proceeds a defiled life and a corrupt body. So we should mind what we think about. So that the next part of the book, thoughts and purpose. Onto our thoughts, what we think about is linked with a purpose, a direction. There is no intelligence or useful accomplishment. So we should first of all conceive a legitimate purpose, a legitimate thoughts in our hearts, and set out to accomplish it. We make this purpose the centralizing point of our thought. And once we apply this in our lives, we become the conscious and intelligent builder of our mental powers. The next part of the book, the thought factor in achievement. All that we achieve and fail to achieve is the direct result of our thought. A strong person cannot help a weaker unless that weaker is willing to be helped. And even then, the weak must become strong by themselves. They must, by their own efforts, develop the strength which they admire in others. Then, alone, can they change their condition. We can only rise, conquer, and achieve by lifting up our thoughts. And we can only remain weak by refusing to lift our thoughts. We all have sacrifices to make. Without a sacrifice, there can be no progress and no achievement. I've written down all we need to know about thoughts in factor and achievement, so please take your time to go through them. Because of time, we'll move on to the next chapter, which is visions and ideals. It is said that the dreamers are the saviors of the world. The greatest achievement was first and foremost at a time a dream. Dreams are seedlings of reality, so we should dream lofty dreams. And as we dream, so shall we become. Cherish your visions, cherish your ideals, cherish the music that stirs in your heart. For out of them will grow all delightful conditions if we remain true to them. Finally, serenity. Serenity can be defined as calmness of the mind, peace of mind, composure, quietness. Calmness of the mind was identified here as one of the most beautiful jewels of wisdom, and it is a result of long and patient efforts in self-control. Calm and quiet people have learned how to govern themselves, know how to adapt themselves to others. So the more serene, quiet, and unruffled we become, the greater is our self-control is strength, right thought is mastery, calmness is power. And say unto yourself or unto your heart, peace be still. The next section of this book, From Poverty to Power, we'll be starting with the part 1 of this book, the part of prosperity. And under that part, there are topics under it. The first topic is the lesson of evil. Pain, sorrow, and unrest are the shadows of life. We cannot say there's no heart in all the world that has not felt the sting of pain. There's no eye that has not wept. There's no household where disease, death have not entered. We all in this world have felt a loss, whether within our family or outside our family or our friends. Some find it very hard to heal from that loss or to move on from the loss. But this book encouraging us that there is a process by which our condition or circumstances can be put to one side and never to return. There is a method by which a permanent prosperity can be secured, free from all fear of the return of adversity. And there is a practice by which unbroken and unending peace and bliss can be partaken of and realized. It is not sufficient to deny or ignore evil. It must be understood. It is not also enough to pray to God to remove the evil. You must find out why it is there and what lesson it has for us. You must know why and how you are bound by the chains that bind you. And to do this, we must get out of ourselves and we must begin to examine and understand ourselves. Evil is not an abstract something outside ourselves. It's an experience in our own heart. And by patiently examining and rectifying your heart, you will gradually be led into the discovery of the origin and nature of evil, and it will be followed by its complete eradication. As evil is the direct outcome of ignorance. So when the lessons of evil are fully learnt, ignorance passes away and wisdom takes its place. So by earnest self-examination, we should strive to realize, and when we are fully entered into this realization, we will be positioned to mold our own circumstances. In this part, the world, a reflection of our mental state, tells us that what we are is our world. Everything in the universe is revolved into our own inward experience. All that we are is a result of what we have thought. That it is founded in our thoughts, and it is made up of our own thoughts. If we are happy, it's because we dwell in happy thoughts. If miserable, because we dwell in despondent and debilitating thoughts. That is, whether one is fearful or fearless, foolish or wise, troubled or serene. Within that soul lies the cause of its own state or states, and never without. Circumstances can only affect us insofar we allow them to do so. We are swayed by circumstances because we have not the right understanding of the nature, use, and power of thoughts. As we clothe both events and objects with our own thoughts, so likewise we clothe the souls of others in the garments of our thoughts. The way out of undesirable conditions is the next application to finding our path to prosperity. Whatsoever a man sows, that shall he also reap. This same law governs the realm of the mind. Hatred, anger, jealousy, envy, lust, covetousness, all these are fires which burn, and whosoever touches them shall suffer the torments of burning. The cause of all power, as of weakness, is within, and the secret of all happiness, as of all mystery, is likewise within. If we discipline our mind, eradicating our weakness and align our soul forces and spiritual powers to unfold themselves, we'll be astonished at the magical changes which will be brought about in our outward life. We complain, we blame our birth, our parents, our employer for our poverty and hardship, but the cause of our poverty, the cause is within ourselves, and where there's a cause, there's a remedy. The fact that we are complaining shows that we lack that faith which is the ground of all effort and progress. Change your outlook upon life, alter it, and your outward life will be changed. Build yourself up in the faith and knowledge and make yourself worthy of better surroundings and wider opportunities. Insofar, we shape and mold our mind, we are the maker of our destiny. And we come to see that these so-called evils may be converted into blessings. The silent power of thought, controlling and directing our forces, is another means to the path of prosperity. The most powerful forces, we'll be shocked to know that the most powerful forces in this universe are the silent forces. Where there is fear, worry, anxiety, doubt, trouble, or disappointments, there is ignorance and lack of faith. All these conditions of the mind are the direct outcome of selfishness, and these conditions of the mind are based upon the belief in the power and supremacy of evil. To overcome all these negative conditions is to enter into a life of power. We have to cease to be slaves and to become a master, and there's only one way by which we can overcome, and that is by steady and persistent growth in inward knowledge. To mentally deny evil is not sufficient. It must, by daily practice, be reasoned above and understood. Faith and power constitute the motive power of life. There is nothing that a strong faith may not accomplish. Whatever position in life may be, whether a student, a CEO, a teacher, before we can hope to enter into any measure of success, usefulness, and power, we must learn how to focus our thought forces by cultivating calmness and repose. We can do this by taking advantage of a quiet hour or two in the early morning or night and going away to some spots, quiet spots, or to some room in our house where we know that we'll be absolutely free from intrusion and distraction and noise too. And having seated ourselves or yourself in an easy attitude, we can direct our mind right away from the object of anxiety or pressure by dwelling upon something in our life that is pleasing. And a calm, responsive strength will gradually steal into your mind, and your anxiety, pressure, fear will pass away. You can try this in our homes. And as we all know from the last chapters I presented or I spoke about, thinking good thoughts breeds good outcome, and these good thoughts will quickly become actualized in our outward life and the form of a good condition. So when you control your soul forces, you'll be able to shape your outward life as you will. And have in mind that there's absolutely no way to true power and abiding peace, but by self-control, self-government, self-purification. Learn how to control your thoughts, your behavior, and purify your thoughts. We'll be moving on to the next part, which is the secret of health, success, and power. This chapter will be teaching us how to cultivate good health, how to succeed and have power. Where there is faith and uncompromising purity, there is health, there is success, and there is power. That is just a summary of this thing. Have a faith that is unmovable, unshakable, no matter what you're facing or the pressure around you. Just have an uncompromising purity in your heart and a faith that cannot be quenched. Order your thoughts and you will order your life. Have in mind that by the power of faith, every enduring work is accomplished. You must have faith in the supreme, faith in the overruling law, faith in your work, and in power to accomplish that work. The secret of abounding happiness is the next part of this book we're looking at on how to find our path of prosperity. Happiness in this context is that inward state of perfect satisfaction, which is joy and peace, and from which all desire is eliminated. The secret of abounding happiness is losing yourself in the welfare of others, forgetting yourself in all that you do. Don't be selfish. Don't do things for your own self because of your own benefits or reward. The next piece of this book on finding our path of prosperity is daily life. Under all circumstances, do that which you believe is right. Trust the law, trust the divine power that is imminent in the universe, and to never desert you. You always be protected. Never let go of integrity, generosity, love. For this, coupled with energy, will lift you into the truly prosperous state, deep of prosperity. The next chapter of this part 2 of the way of peace is the power of meditation. Spiritual meditation is the pathway to divinity. It is the mystic ladder that reaches from earth to heaven, from pain to peace. Without its aid, you cannot grow into the divine states, the divine likeness, the divine peace, and the faithless glories of clean joys of truth will remain hidden from you. Meditation can be defined as the intense dwelling in thoughts upon an idea or theme, with the object of thoroughly comprehending it. And whatever you constantly meditate on, you will not only come to the understanding, but you grow more and more into its likeness. By meditating, you'll be ceaselessly fortifying yourself against your only real enemy, your selfish, perishable self, and you'll be establishing yourself more and more firmly in the divine and imperishable self that is not separable from truth. And with that, you see that your direct outcome of the meditations will become you have spiritual strength that will be your stay and resting place in the struggle of life. The 5 great meditations were introduced to us. The first meditation is the meditation of love. The second meditation is the meditation of pity. Meditation is the meditation of joy. Meditation talks about rejoicing for the prosperity of others. The fourth meditation is the meditation of impurity. And finally, the fifth meditation is the meditation of serenity. But whether you engage in these particular meditations or not does not matter, so long as your object is true and so long as you hunger and thirst for that righteousness, which is the holy heart and blameless life. Talking about the next part, the two masters, self and truth. Even the Bible talks about the two masters. The master of self in this context, and also the Bible, is that rebellious one. That one that has passion, pride, vanity, self-will, and implements all sorts of darkness. But the master of truth is that meek, lowly one, which weapons are gentleness, patience, purity, sacrifice, love, and all these are the instruments of light. So, therefore, every heart is enlisted either in the ranks of self or of truth. You cannot do half and half. There is truth and there is self. Where self is, truth is not, and where truth is, self is not. As I said, even the Bible said this. The Bible declared that no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and the devil. Acquisition of spiritual power is the next chapter in this part 2. We all know that this world we live in is filled with men and women seeking pleasure, excitement, seeking novelty. And as you grow in spiritual life and become established upon these principles, you become a beautiful and as unchangeable as those principles. The next chapter talks about the realization of selfless love. To reach this selfless love, we must understand and experience it. We must work with great persistency and diligence upon our hearts, our mind, and we must ever renew our patience and keep strong our faith. Entering into the infinite. This is another topic in this part of the way of peace. To enter into the realization of infinite and eternal, it is to rise superior to time, to the world and the body. And only those who have become free from self are fit to enter the infinite. Sorry, because of time, we move on to the next chapter of this book. Saying sages and saviors. That is the law of service. Truth is far removed from those whose life is not governed by love. The final test of wisdom is this. 1. How does a person live? 2. What spirit is manifested? 3. How are trials and temptation dealt with? Most people boast of being in possession of truth, but they are continually swayed by grief, disappointment, and passion. Truth is nothing if not unchangeable, and so far as a person takes a stand upon truth, that person becomes steadfast in virtue and rise superior to self-centered passions and emotions. Those who are patient, calm, gentle, and forgiving under all circumstances manifest truth. What the saints, sages, and saviors have accomplished, we likewise can accomplish them if only we follow their footsteps. That is the way of self-sacrifice and of self-denying service. The realization of perfect peace. This is the final and last chapter and topic we'll be treating on in this part of peace. Yes, we can agree that in this world there is ceaseless turmoil, there is change, there is unrest, but in this deep silence dwells the internal. And to reach this silence and to live consciously in it is peace. All our sins, sorrows, fears, and anxieties are our own, and we can choose to cling to them, hold on to them, and we can also choose to give them up. No one else can give it up for us. We must give it up by ourselves. Give up all self-seeking, give up self itself, and the peace of God will be yours. With this, I'll